So there's our hook. We're calling out the problem and we're giving something intriguing and interesting and driving some curiosity, as well as agitating the problem with some fear. But we're not going overboard with the emotional side of the fear. It's more of an informational fear. It could be coded into your cell. So we're hinting at the solution, the problem mechanism. And then I love this. The biggest mistake that the avatar makes when it comes to solving the problem is not understanding where it comes from. And this gives you the perfect lead in to go into your problem mechanism and go into, so here's actually where the problem comes from. Here's the true root cause. Okay. And then we go immediately to a story-based testimonial. So we're talking about the target avatar, 65 years old. For any type of skincare product, your target is 40 plus. Generally, the best buyers are 50 plus. And they're agitating the problem. I can't get rid of my wrinkles, loose and saggy skin. I tried all these alternatives. Nothing worked until this. So we're going to have hope for a solution and a reason to keep watching. You'll notice every sentence ends with a reason to keep watching. And then we pre-frame the VSL as a free presentation. This is very effective, especially for longer VSLs to get that retention. You know, it's a free presentation by my dermatologist. And what are you going to get for watching this? You're going to get information. How do you block this toxic protein? You'll change your life. It'll solve your skin problems, etc. And it's starting in 7 seconds, so hit the full screen button now. And then we have our big promise. So the big promise for taking action, for watching, is that you're going to learn how to finally see skin that is youthful and smooth again. And that's essentially the whole big promise. So we can write that down. So that's what they want. That's their dream outcome, to have youthful and smooth skin. Why? Because of the confidence, because of how it makes them feel, because they'll be seen by more people. These are the general dream outcomes, emotional situations that this market of skincare is looking for, that women who are buying these products look for. And then the big problem is right here, never being able to get rid of wrinkles, wrinkled skin, saggy skin. And not being able to get rid of it. So that's a secondary problem, right? The main problem is the problem itself, which is wrinkled, loose, and saggy skin. Okay, let's continue. So look at this. I love this. Defeat this one skin enemy and you can have beautiful, wrinkle-free skin. I mean, that's beautiful. That is that's the big promise statement. That's amazing. So this is one of the best ways to do a lead in your VSL, is to blame the entire problem on one thing. So it's like a magnifying glass focusing. We agitate the problem. There's this emotional thing. You can't get rid of your wrinkles. You tried all this stuff. And then we point all of those problems onto one idea that the subconscious mind can just focus on. And that becomes a very heavy thing. So it has a lot of weight. So the problem mechanism has a lot of weight. In this case, that one thing is one skin enemy, which will turn out to be DNA discoloration. Or no, that's for the dark spots. So in this case, it's going to be different. It's going to be progeline, or progerin is this chemical that's causing your skin to, decay and get wrinkled and saggy. And then the other, either it's progerin or progelin. It's very confusing. But one of them is the solution mechanism, which the product delivers. So this sentence right here is why people watch. Defeat this one skin enemy and you can have beautiful wrinkle-free skin. Defeat this one gut enemy and you can have beautiful, smooth, clean digestion. Defeat this one knee pain enemy and you can have the knees of a 30-year-old again. So this is the way to really build a ton of intrigue and put a lot of value on your problem mechanism. And that puts a lot of value on the information that will be forthcoming. So, and then we essentially agitate this. There's one major cause of wrinkles, etc. And then it's supported by proof. So once science has discovered it, myself and leading experts, and then you name it. This is very important as well. You want to name your mechanism, your problem and your solution mechanism with some kind of unique gimmick. That makes it, as I said, we want to add a lot of weight to these things because they'll be more believable and more engaging. So in this case, it's the Benjamin Button protein. And it's just this very memorable way of describing this problem and having it visualized and accepted. So this is one of the most important things when it comes to your mechanisms. You want them to be very simple, very easy to understand, very vivid and visceral, and almost like a very clean metaphor to explain it. So in this case, we tie something they don't know, which is the root cause of this problem, to something they do know, which is Benjamin Button, how he's aging in reverse. And it's caused by high levels of, okay, so it's progerin. This is the problem mechanism. So progerin is the real root cause of the big problem. And by solving progerin with the solution mechanism, you get the big promise. You defeat this one skin enemy. Progerin is that skin enemy, and you can have beautiful wrinkle-free skin. So you see, it's all tied together. These 4 elements are so important, and they all tie together because you have a big problem. It's caused by the problem mechanism, which is solved by the solution, which gives you the big promise. So it's all tied together, and the more smoothly you can tie this together with easier to understand, simpler mechanisms, more vivid mechanisms, and promises that resonate with what they actually want. So you find the dream outcome your avatar actually wants, say it to them, find the problem that they're dealing with, and all of it's how it manifests in their life. So the physical, emotional, mental side of the problem, and say it back to them. And if you do those things correctly, you'll have a very compelling VSL. So then we go further into the problem mechanism. We explain how it works, and we tie the problem mechanism to the problem. So if you have high levels of anti-aging protein, your skin cells are going to age earlier than they should. So you always want to tie. So what does it actually mean? You don't just explain your problem mechanism. You explain how the problem mechanism causes the problem. What does this mean, right? Reason why that you should even care about this is because it causes aging in your skin cells. And it prevents healthy cell growth, and it causes your skin to look saggy and wrinkled earlier than it should. But when you turn it back down, it's so effective how they did this script, because it's pretty much saying, here's the problem mechanism. When there's a lot of it, you get the problem. When you turn it down, you solve the problem. It can really help reverse the signs of aging, like wrinkles, as healthy skin cell function is key to youthful skin at every age. The higher your progerin levels you have right now, could be the reason why nothing you do works. And it's very compliant too. So most people would just say that they are the reason. They're saying it could be the reason. So it's compliant, but it's still getting the same exact message across. And the copy is so smooth, so concise, so compelling that even by having so much compliant copy, limited claims, limited promises, you still get the emotional effect that a promise or a claim would have, which is hope, desire, etc. And then we're going to continue with the promise. So we introduced the problem mechanism, and then we're going to explain how the problem mechanism causes the problem and how solving the problem mechanism leads to the dream outcome. So you can turn back the dial, and you have to prove you qualify for that senior discount. Funny. Your skin is renewing itself every day. And then we're just going deeper into the explanation. So we've got their attention with the lead, telling them why they should watch. You're going to get this information. Here's my story. I'm 65 years old, etc. And that's when we get into the authority figure. And then we introduce the hero story, the authority figure right now. She's a dermatologist. She's the founder of a skin institute. She's a speaker. She's a surgeon. And then she's helped people. So there's social proof as well, not just expertise and credibility. You can now be treated with a simple remedy that blocks the effects of progerin. You're going to discover how blocking the problem mechanism could be the most powerful way to help reverse the appearance of aging skin. And then we build some rapport. She gets down about her age. She needs to look great, etc., etc. And then introduce with science, right? Lots of studies throughout this VSL. So we have a lot of proof elements, right? We have an authority figure, we have studies, we have explanations, we have clear reasons why, we have social proof, we have testimonials. This is filled with proof. It's light in the way that they phrase their claims and promises. It's very clear in the way they explain their mechanisms. And it's very dialed into the mentality of the market when it comes to explaining the problem and the dream outcome. So you see, it continues to tie the problem mechanism to the problem. You have low levels of the problem mechanism, so you have firm, healthy, supple skin. But then you have higher levels, and that's when you have aging skin, thin skin, saggy, loose, reduced firmness, etc. More studies. and then just continue tying in the problem. You see, this entire VSL is about the big copy elements. This is what the most successful marketers, direct response brands, and VSL copywriters know, is that it's all about your mechanisms, your promise, your problem, and your proof. Everything else is there to support that. You don't need filler stuff. You don't need to build rapport. You don't need to be funny. You need to just explain your mechanisms as clearly and compellingly as possible, explain your problem and solution as effectively and emotionally as possible, and use proof to back up everything you say. And now we get into the solution mechanism. So I urge you not to ignore these problems. We're building up that tension, right? We're agitating the problem. Here are the problems you're having. Loss of elasticity on the jawline and neck, jowls, turkey neck, high progerin levels. Don't ignore them. We're building up that tension. And then, thanks to something new, a recent discovery, a breakthrough, a scientific novelty, it may be closer than you realize. Amazing. Now that's the transition point to the solution mechanism. All thanks to a natural peptide called progeline. So what is progeline? I was researching a cure. Researchers, studies, the Society of Cosmetic Chemists, lots of proof elements. You'll see that every time we're introducing a new mechanism or making a promise, lots of proof will be clustered around that copy, that part of the VSL. So here's kind of the explanation of the solution mechanism. It is referring to progeline. The solution mechanism can help skin appear more radiant. It can reduce progerin by 22%. That's like rolling back the biological clock on your skin a few years. So this is very powerful. This would be part of the big promise. And the solution mechanism. Because remember, the big promise is what supports the solution mechanism is what supports the big promise. The problem mechanism is what supports the big problem. So we want to create this house of cards where we very clearly show the problem mechanism is what's causing all your problems and keeping you from your dreams. And the solution mechanism is like a wrecking ball that's going to knock that down, so the entire problem comes crashing down and disappears, and what you're left with is your dream outcome. Okay, so let's continue here. Then we prove these results with tests, trials, studies, social proof, testimonials, case studies. So they tested it. Okay, they tested it on 23 women. They're explaining how it worked, and very simple. A lot of people like to go overboard on the studies and the proof elements. No, just giving them is the true value. Give the proof. Explain in one sentence what it means, why it's important, and then move on. And focus it on the viewer, right? Focus it on benefits. Here, they're not just talking about the problem. They're talking about what you get. They're not talking about the proof element. They're talking about what you get, right? What it shows. Their skin became softer. Their skin became smoother and firmer. They felt younger and healthier. They talk very little about the actual mechanism behind it. Their skin was fully enriched, so it had a radiant glow. They came back from their honeymoon. They felt this way. How are they feeling? What are they getting? Most people would spend the next 2 paragraphs talking about this kind of stuff. You're enriching the skin cells. You're nourishing your progeline. No, nobody cares about that. They care about what they're going to get and how they're going to feel. They only want the proof so that they can believe the dream outcome. It takes very little to satisfy the logical mind. And once the logical mind is satisfied, or at least distracted by something, it's hooked onto something, that's when the emotional mind wants to, eat up all of these feelings, these visualizations, these dream outcomes, etc., the big promise. And they walk confidently. So look, this is what they're getting. Tears of joy. They're not talking about the scientific stuff here. They're talking about tears of joy. And these people can talk about the science, right? Because they paid for actual studies. They have tons of proof. They have a real credible authority figure with like decades of experience. And even with all of this proof and authority, they're spending very little time talking about the science, right? They're explaining things in a simple way. They're using proof to support the basics. And then they're talking about the emotional benefits, the dream outcomes. How are they going to feel? What is their outcome going to be like? Smooth skin, fresh, youthful, confidently walking in the world. That older appearance of loose, saggy skin is because of the aging protein. And then, this is very important. This is what I see a ton of supplement companies doing wrong that doesn't allow them to scale. They will go into the product before they do any of this stuff. So they'll talk about the studies and the benefits and the dream outcome after they've already introduced their product. But then you've lost everyone, and nobody's going to believe you, and now they're skeptical because you're selling them something. Only now do we even start talking about a product. I recommend using a progeline infused cream. So after we've sold them on the benefits, how it works, the dream outcome they're going to get, the studies, the proof, we're just selling an idea, right? And we're halfway through. We haven't even started talking about any product. We're selling them an idea. Once they've accepted that idea sufficiently, then we talk about a product. So this is the solution, right? There's a solution out there that can give you the solution mechanism. I'm not saying I have it or I'm selling you it. I'm just saying it's there. That's easy to accept. Then we go into partnering with Miami MD, perfecting a formula, right? Because we're doing it in a logical chain. You have a problem. It's caused by this. You could solve it with this mechanism. This type of cream could solve that mechanism. So I decided to create some type of cream to solve the problem mechanism. And that's when we're going to get into the product. So we still haven't introduced the product, and we're talking about what's inside of it. We included this. We included natural peptides. We included Matrixyl 3000. We added arginine, the gentle version of Botox, explaining each ingredient. It's so important. So look at this. We added this ingredient. It's an age-fighting peptide. It sends signals to replace lost collagen. It keeps your skin strong and firm. Helps prevent the muscle movement that leads to wrinkles. It's like a gentle version of Botox. We added a ceramide to hold your results together. And the first formula was promising, but it was not perfect. You see, this is so good. So it's building up some tension, and then no, it wasn't perfect. And then we keep going. That dissipates so much skepticism. Our second formula was a home run. And we're getting into social proof, etc. And now we introduce the product. That's incredible. So look at that. We're more than halfway into the VSL, and we just mentioned the product. This is a $7-figure. This is $1 million a month VSL. This is how it's done. Amazing. Any supplement works perfectly for this. Amazing. The benefits they're getting. Now we're just going to sell the product. This is what you're going to experience during the first 21 days. And then we have testimonials. How do you use the product? 3 minutes to apply it. Personal experience, right? Specific. And it's so specific. It's so vivid. When I look in the mirror and I discover a new wrinkle, all of the avatar, the target market, anyone watching this has done that. And they just apply the cream once in the morning, once in the evening. And I find myself feeling younger and more confident. It's not even a claim. It's not saying your wrinkle is going to go away. All it says is I feel more confident and I feel younger. Then we address some skepticism. You've been let down by empty promises before. Now it's great to see something that finally works. And then we get into specific testimonials. It relates to the prospect. There's other products. They claim this and that. Nothing works. I turned into my mother. Everyone can relate to that. And now we give them the out. So we build up that emotional tension, that fear, that negativity, that disappointment. And then we give them the out. We eliminate that tension by saying, here's the solution. Here's your out of this dark tunnel. So what does this mean for you? Now we put it on the viewer. So we haven't even put it onto the viewer yet. So we introduced the product, and then we just sold the benefits of the product. Now we're going to actually sell it to you, the viewer. Could it help you? Can this work for any woman? We have to find out. And then we have a testimonial, long form. I couldn't recognize my pictures, agitating the problem. I was skeptical. My skin, I felt this. Right away, I noticed this. Right? So the instant benefits and then the long-term benefits. So instantly, I noticed a feeling. Right? If it's your knee massager, I noticed the soothing in my knee. I noticed the relaxation in my knee. My skin felt plumper, more elastic right away. And then over day 14 and 28, I was getting longer term benefits. People were noticing. My husband said I looked like I did on our honeymoon. That's good for her. 62 years old. Super cream. Gave me more confidence, the emotional benefits. I went to work without makeup. I still got compliments. So it's very specific. In your testimonials, always be specific. What exactly are they going to experience, feel? What are people going to say to them? What are the exact words that they're going to use? Not, I look great, I feel great, it works so well. That's meaningless. It means nothing. Those testimonials are filler. You might as well not even have them. These are the testimonials you want. And then we summarize everything. Now you know the problem mechanism is the cause of your problem. You've seen other people's successful results. The science and proof confirms it. It's the only treatment that addresses this problem mechanism. That's the great thing when you come up with a new problem mechanism and you name it in a creative way and it's fresh and it's new and you have studies for it, is that you can create the only solution for that root cause. It's not the only skincare solution. It's the only solution for the problem mechanism. But since we've already attached the problem mechanism to the problem, we're essentially saying it's the only solution that actually works. And then we have the crossroads close. What are you going to look like a month from now? If you don't act now, nothing will change. You'll probably keep looking older, more tired. We're agitating it. We're building that tension big time. New wrinkles are going to appear. Many places you've never noticed them before. So we're using visualization triggers to get them to experience the tension of imagining new wrinkles will appear, right? It's many in places you've never noticed before. Your skin will sag. You'll feel less visible to other people. And then at the peak of that tension, right, that last sentence is powerful. You'll feel less and less visible to other people. That's a huge problem for this market. And then we release that tension by saying, it doesn't need to be like this. Now we transition. With our help, you can fight back. So we're creating this tension and this problem, and then we're offering them the out. Wowing your friends, colleagues, husbands because of the problem, tying it all to the product. Because of the product, not the problem. Because of the product, you're going to get all of these things. All this from taking advantage of this breakthrough inside this product. So it's not even you're taking advantage of the product, the breakthrough that's inside of it, because they're so clear on the fact that the solution mechanism is packaged inside the product. This is like a perfect VSL. This has got to be the best 20-minute VSL I've ever seen. This copy is amazing. And the video itself is very high production, very good. Great authority figure, great visuals, great custom 3D animations. Everything is fantastic. Great B-roll, great testimonial videos. And then we just go into the close. I'm not going to go so deep into it, but essentially we go right here is where we transition into the close. We build exclusivity and perceived value. We haven't even introduced the price yet. Then we boost AOV by saying you get benefits for ordering more. Order 6 at a time like other people are doing. Women across America are ordering 6 or more at a time. They keep getting the benefits. There's so much research that shows that it works better and better as you use it more. Then we have urgency and scarcity, right? You need to act now because XYZ. There's only so many bottles left, and the limited time sale, once it's done, it's done. More urgency and scarcity. Imagine you're not going to be able to do this. We push again for bigger orders, and now we get into the price. So we do a price framing. The more you invest, the more you save. As a suggested retail price of $69, that's a steal on its own right. You can order 6 months for a massive discount, really pushing the bundles. I bet their AOV is really high here. You got 6 bundles for $240, and they're pushing subscription as well. So they know their LTV numbers. Maybe if I were to just click this button, then my order goes from $240 to maybe $1,000, right? If I'm subscribing, because they know their numbers. They can offer these subscriptions and discounts because they know that if I do subscribe, out of every 1,000 people that subscribe, on average, they double the LTV versus if they only had one-time purchases. Then we get specific about the order process, the shipping time, your experience unboxing it, what it's going to be like to try it right away. We get them to visualize it, just dab a tiny bit, and you'll feel it, you'll see it, etc. We promise them when you do this, you'll get this. When you use the product, you'll get these benefits. Everyone's going to notice. Then we reverse risk with our guarantee. If you're not 100% amazed, if your family and friends aren't telling you how great you look, if your problems aren't disappearing, then I will personally get you a prompt refund. Then we tell them exactly how to order, why they should order. Order now to take advantage XYZ. Click the button, select your package, complete your order. We push again for bigger bundles, and then we tell them what to do once again. So simple close, amazing VSL, great product, very successful brand. Very well done. Congrats to Peter Kell for putting this together. He is a VSL master. So if you want this script, remember we didn't really go into my notes because I just did it live. But if you want to see this, this is a great way to understand this. And you can just take my notes and then turn it into a structure that you can use, and use that for any type of supplement, e-commerce product, anything. It's a great example of a 19-minute VSL. So if you already have some ads working, whether they're VSLs or UGC, 1 to 5 to 10 minutes, I highly recommend doing a 20-minute. That's how you can really scale. Because if you have a 5-minute VSL that's crushing it on Facebook, you can do 200,000-300,000 a month in sales from that. But if you have a 20-minute VSL that takes the same proven messaging and copy and expands everything, you could scale to 7 figures with a 20-minute VSL. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want this document, just DM me on Instagram or Twitter. Send me a DM. I'll share this document with you where you can see my entire breakdown and you can get the script for yourself. And if you want to get more VSL breakdowns, more in-depth training, courses, programs, I have a private community that is limited right now, but I have a few more spaces that I'm going to keep it open. Soon I'm going to probably raise the price because I want to keep the quality high. And as I'm getting more traffic, the quality is, I don't want it to drop. So I'm not going to be keeping it at this price for that long. But for now, it's $100 per month. There's more information below this video. So I hope you enjoyed. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day, my friends, and go crush it with your VSLs. Peace.